John Allen Chau. In November 2018, John Chau, an American Christian missionary, illegally traveled to North Sentinel Island in an attempt to contact and live among the Sentinelese, an isolated indigenous group, so that he could convert them to Christianity. On November 15, Chau paid local fishermen to take him to a point between 500 and 700 meters from the island's shore, from where he continued his journey by kayak. As he approached, he attempted to communicate with the islanders and offered them gifts, but retreated after facing hostile reactions. On another visit, the islanders interacted with him with a mixture of mockery, confusion, and aggression. He sang them religious songs and spoke in the Xhosa language. They either remained silent or burst into laughter. When he tried to hand them a fish and other gifts, a boy shot an arrow with a metal tip that pierced the Bible he was holding close to his chest. Chau retreated again. On his final visit, on November 17, he asked the fishermen to leave without him. Later, the fishermen saw the islanders dragging Chau's body, but it was never recovered. 7 fishermen were later arrested for illegally transporting Chau to the island. Joseph Smith. On January 22, 2023, in Sumner County, Kansas, Joseph Smith decided to go hunting with a friend and his shepherd dog. They loaded the dog and weapons into the backseat of the truck and set off toward the forest. While Joseph was sitting in the front seat, the dog accidentally stepped on the trigger, shooting him from behind. Emergency crews arrived within minutes and attempted to resuscitate him, but he was declared dead at the scene. Investigators initially examined whether the dog was indeed the cause. The sheriff's office later ruled the shooting accidental and closed the case. Frank Cabele. In January 2014, Frank Cabele, a 35-year-old evangelical pastor, claimed to have enough faith to perform the miracles of Jesus. He gathered his followers and told him he could reenact Christ's miracles. He decided to walk on water. He led them to a beach in Libreville, the capital of Gabon, and declared he would cross the Gabon estuary on foot, a distance of 7 miles, which normally takes about 20 minutes by boat. As soon as his foot touched the water, his right leg sank immediately, and by his second step, he was completely submerged. He drowned and died. Archduchess Matilda of Austria. On May 2, 1867, at the Habsburg Palace in Vienna, 18-year-old Archduchess Matilda Marie put on a chiffon dress to go to the theater. She lit a cigarette, but when she heard her father approaching, who strongly forbade smoking, she hid the cigarette behind her back, causing her highly flammable dress to catch fire. She suffered severe burns to her back, arms, neck, and legs before the flames were extinguished. Parts of the dress fused to her skin. She suffered second- and third-degree burns across most of her body and died from her injuries 2 weeks later in front of her family. Wayne Roth. On November 8, 1997, Wayne Roth, 38, visited his friend Roger Couteau in Jenkins, Pennsylvania. While drinking beer and using drugs, he decided to grab his friend's pet cobra from its tank. The snake immediately bit his right hand. His friend offered to take him to the hospital, but he refused, saying he would handle it like a man. Instead, he insisted on going to a local bar where he proudly showed off the snake. Unfortunately, the cobra's venom had a slow effect. After about 3 hours, he began feeling ill and died while being transported to the hospital. A toxicology report revealed his blood alcohol level was 0.354, over 3 times the legal limit. The official cause of death was heart and respiratory failure due to drug overdose. Luciano Recchiaconi. On January 18, 1977, Luciano Recchiaconi, a 28-year-old Lazio football player, together with teammate Bruno Giordano and another friend, decided to stage a fake robbery at the jewelry shop of Bruno Tabuccini in Rome. They thought it would be a funny prank. Wearing masks, they stormed the store unaware it had been robbed a few days earlier and that the owner was armed. As soon as they entered, Cappuccini fired at one of them. When Recciconi kept acting at the robbery, he shot him as well. His last words were, "It's just a joke, just a joke." He died 30 minutes later. Cappuccini was arrested and detained for 18 days, but released without charge, as the judge ruled it an act of self-defense. Gary Hoy. On July 9, 1993, Canadian lawyer Gary Hoy was in his 24th floor office when his secretary asked him to give a tour to a group of law interns. During the tour, he wanted to demonstrate the strength of the office windows by throwing himself against one, something he had done several times before without breaking them. This time, however, the impact caused the window to pop out of its frame. Both Hoy and the glass fell 24 floors to his death. Alejandro and Roberto. On May 24, 2019, in Chalmette, Louisiana, Alejandro Cazares and his friend Roberto Moreno were driving south when they came to an open drawbridge. Moreno stepped out and lifted the safety barrier, then Cazares drove the car forward to let him back in. The car paused for a few seconds, then Cazares reversed and accelerated, attempting to jump the gap. The car flew into the air, but plunged into the water below. Cazares was unable to escape the vehicle, while Roberto was found outside the submerged car. Both were declared dead at the scene.